Hello, my name is Matthew Marvin. I also go by the Poker Gypsy.
At this point, to my understanding, the only information that they're concerned about getting is information that goes against me and against the guy I bought the vehicle from. They're not concerned with anything that supports my case.
I also have to stop and think, if I still look like this, would all this be happening?
This officer is trying to educate me on the paperwork, because in the title bond right here, it says principal owner's signature, okay, and on the other side is witness. Now, the witness is the DMV or a notary. The owner's slot is where my name goes. They're trying to tell me that I need to go get the original owner to sign this. So not only does the police department not understand what a bond or a power of attorney is, they're also building an investigation, not collecting all the facts first. They're also communicating with the tag office, who also thinks I need a bill of sale. So I basically do everything but curse the officers out before I storm out of the police department. I'm headed to the magistrate building. I get to the magistrate building. I say, hey, how do I make a complaint? Because now I'm headed to the sheriff's office, because the sheriff's office is above the police officers. They tell me if the sheriff's office doesn't do it, there's nowhere I can complain to, because there's nobody above the sheriff's except the governor. And as we all know, there's no way regular citizens can get a hold of the governor, unless you really got some major pull, which I don't have. So I go to the sheriff's office. I say, hey, look, your police department's messing up. Here's all my paperwork. He says, all right, I understand. I explain to him the situation. The sheriff happens to know another sheriff, because they work together and it's a one-horse town, who works at a dealership. The sheriff who works at a dealership explained to him what it was and said, yes, we can sign that. He goes and he comes back with the paperwork of the owner of the vehicle and shows me. So he already broke policy. He broke privacy laws. So we go do the vehicle VIN number verification. The problem is, when he goes to do the VIN number verification, apparently he talks to the tag office and the police department. And after he does his little investigation, listening to everybody else, he now says he can't sign it. Well, you should have thought about that before you broke the privacy laws, buddy. So at this point, I track down the original owner, who I now know that the vehicle is registered to. Good thing I'm good at marketing. I hit him up on Facebook. I call him. No answer. So fortunately, this guy has a wife. He may not be on top of his game when it comes to social media, but she sure is. I say, hey, I'm trying to get a hold of your husband. This is my phone number. About an hour later, he sends me a text. We get connected, and now I'm headed up to where he lives to go meet him to get this bill of sale. Talk to him, explain to him, hey, I need a bill of sale. Says no problem. Very cool guy. But we can't meet up for another week. We're going to sit down with a notary, get this thing all done. Because of the police department's incompetence, I now have to pull money out of my pocket to travel to go get this done. Also, it's costing me to lose revenue in business. If I make $100,000 a year and have to pull money out of my pocket, do some math. That's about $3,000 they're costing me for this 1 week. And there's only two outcomes. Either I'm going to get a vehicle VIN number verification from the police department, or I'm going to file a civil lawsuit and they're going to buy me a new van. But before that, I've got some people to call. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the bond company, like the officer was supposed to do. And I'm going to tell them, look, this police department is not recognizing your bonded title or power of attorney. They're going to give them a call. I'm also going to call the Secretary of State of Georgia and explain to them that their Statesboro Police Department is incompetent. And it's possible a member of law enforcement may get fired over this. Which brings me to my next issue. Guilty by association. All right. If you see me walking with 3 troublemakers, you will assume that I'm also a troublemaker, correct? So this law enforcement agent, who may get fired, may be a good person. However, he chose to not do his own research, and he chose to listen to the people around him who have the incorrect information. He now becomes guilty by association. So the message to all the police department, and this is what I'm getting at. Whenever we read an article, when I say we, I'm speaking for the poor population or the general public, which is about 60% of people, 70%. When you have a negative connotation of police and you hear or you read an article saying officer dies in the line of duty, lived on through his wife and children, nobody cares. And nobody cares because there's a 99.8% chance that he worked with a bad officer or a bad law enforcement agent, sat around, watched it, and did nothing about it. Guilty by association. It's a two-way street. The thing we have to battle in society is police officers don't feel like they get enough credit on the job. And look, I understand, okay, you go out your way to protect these people, and at the end of the day, they don't even appreciate your service. Well, sometimes y'all bring it on yourselves. So, since they want me to snitch on everybody, how about I start snitching on the officer who broke privacy laws? Oh, but I bet they want that swept under the rug, don't they? Oh, let's not talk about that one. No. So police officers also have to remember while they're out here doing arrests and chasing people that they're also not perfect. Some of y'all sold your soul for money and you'll do everything for $1. Look, I'm guilty. I like money too. I just try to do things that don't affect others in a negative way. You see, now this is my thing. They're trying so hard to run around and investigate everybody and make arrests and bust people, right? Because let's be honest, that's how they get paid. That's how they drum up money. If you can't drum up money for the department, you ain't got no job. The problem is, it should not be done this way. If you offer a service and there's no need for the service, you go broke. Business 101. Maybe the service is obsolete. Anybody ever think of that? Now, yes, I shouldn't have been buying a vehicle off of Facebook Marketplace anyway. I also shouldn't have lost my paperwork. Not that I needed it. I'm not perfect. Mistakes happen. Fortunately, this isn't the first time that this has ever happened to a human being before. And there's a way to recover from it. I've taken all the legal actions, and I'm still being denied. Called the bond company, told them that the local police department was not recognizing their seal. They were shocked. They're like, man, we do about 1,200 of these a year. We've never had this happen before. Welcome to Statesboro, Georgia. But they also told me that they don't have anyone in the department to handle that. They're telling me to tell the police department, who is uncooperative, to give them a call. Then they'll straighten it out. Nobody can call the police department, though. Called the Secretary of State after waiting on the phone for 2 hours. And they tell me I need a bill of sale. Look it up. It's not the law. Not only do these people not know the law, but they don't even enforce it. They just enforce whatever they feel like enforcing. Last time I checked, police officers didn't make the law, they enforced it. Last time I checked, Secretary of State's supposed to be on their stuff. Alright, so at this point, we got the bill of sale, a legit bill of sale from the owner, the guy who it's registered to, stamped, notarized. I've also got a hold of a council member, and I'm just going to tell the council member, look, this is what's going on. I need this situation corrected. Okay, next time I come into Statesboro, Georgia, I need a VIN number verification from your officers. I need them educated. I'm just going to slap you guys with a lawsuit. I'm also going to notify them that this video is being publicly published, and I'm going to show them examples of where I've done this before with other cities and police departments, gotten high numbers, and we're just going to use social media. Because now, unfortunately, I'm losing business revenue because I could be running a van right now instead of being in rentals. And the van's just sitting there, parked. All because police officers can't even do a vehicle VIN number verification. They can't do a full investigation. And they don't know how to recognize legal documentations. And they have access to state lawyers. Don't let them fool you. Now, luckily for me, the original owner wasn't that far away. But what if this would have happened to somebody else? What if they would have moved to California? What if they would have moved across the country? What if they would have moved out of country?
You tell me I got to follow them to go get a bill of sale? And these politicians, police officers, sheriff's office, they don't care. They just run around doing whatever they want at everybody else's expense.